Third base has always been one of the toughest positions in baseball. A great third baseman needs quick reactions, a strong arm, excellent instincts, and the ability to make difficult plays look routine. At the same time, many of the greatest players at the position have also been elite hitters capable of carrying an offense. Throughout MLB history, we have seen plenty of incredible talent at third base, but only a handful have separated themselves from the rest. For this video, I'm ranking my top 10 greatest third basemen in Major League Baseball history. Starting things off at number 10, I have Buddy Bell. Buddy Bell doesn't always get mentioned with the all time greats, but he absolutely deserves more respect. He built his career around consistency and outstanding defense. Bell won 6 Gold Gloves and was one of the smoothest fielders of his era, whether it was charging bunts, making difficult backhand plays, or firing throws across the diamond. He was incredibly dependable. Offensively, he wasn't the biggest power hitter on this list, but he was still a very productive player, finishing with over 2,500 hits, drove in more than 1,100 runs, and was a steady contributor for nearly 2 decades. His combination of longevity, defense, and solid offense earns him the number 10 spot. At number 9 is Ron Santo. Ron Santo spent almost his entire career with the Chicago Cubs and established himself as one of the best third basemen of the 1960s. He was a 9 time All Star who combined power, patience, and consistency at the plate. Santo hit 342 career home runs while posting an excellent on base percentage, making him one of the toughest outs in baseball during his prime. He was also an outstanding defender, winning 5 Gold Gloves. Ron Santo was one of those players who could impact the game on both sides of the ball every single night. Although the Cubs never reached the World Series during his career, his individual greatness eventually earned him a deserved spot in the Hall of Fame. Coming in at number 8 is Scott Rowland. Scott Rowland is one of the most complete third basemen baseball has ever seen. Defensively, he was incredible. He won 8 Gold Gloves and consistently made plays that very few players could make. His range, arm strength, and instincts, they were all elite. But Scott Rowland wasn't just a defensive specialist. He was also a dangerous hitter who finished with more than 2,000 hits, over 300 home runs, and almost 1,300 RBIs. He played a huge role on several winning teams throughout his career, including helping the Cardinals win the 2006 World Series. His all around game easily puts him among the greatest of all time. Number 7 belongs to Wade Boggs. If you wanted someone to simply get on base, there were very few players better than Wade Boggs. He was one of the greatest pure hitters baseball has ever seen. Wade Boggs won 5 batting titles and finished his career with a remarkable 328 batting average, a 415 on base percentage. He rarely struck out, constantly sprayed line drives all over the field, and made hitting look effortless. While he wasn't known for huge home run numbers, his ability to consistently reach base made him one of the most valuable offensive players of his generation. His defense was solid as well, but it's his bat that makes him one of the greatest third basemen ever. At number 6, Chipper Jones. Chipper Jones is arguably the greatest switch hitter in baseball history, spending all 19 of his seasons with the Atlanta Braves. He became one of the faces of baseball throughout the 1990s and 2000s. Chipper Jones collected over 2,700 hits, blasted 468 home runs, and drove in more than 1,600 runs. He also won the National League MVP award in 1999 after one of the best offensive seasons by any third baseman. His ability to hit for both average and power from either side of the plate made him incredibly difficult to pitch against. While his defense wasn't the strongest part of his game compared to some of the players ranked above him, he was more than capable at third base. His offensive production alone makes him one of the greatest players the position has ever seen. Taking the number 5 spot is Adrian Beltre. Adrian Beltre was a definition of a complete hitter. He combined elite defense with outstanding offensive production over a career that lasted more than 2 decades. Beltre, he won 5 Gold Gloves and is widely considered one of the greatest defensive third basemen ever. Advanced defensive metrics love him, and many analysis consider him the best defensive third baseman since Brooks Robinson. Offensively, he finished with over 3,000 hits, 477 home runs, and more than 1,700 RBIs. Few players in baseball history have matched that combination of longevity, consistency, and excellence on both sides of the ball. At number 4, Brooks Robinson. When people think about defensive greatness at third base, Brooks Robinson is usually the first name that comes to mind. His glove, it was legendary. Robinson won an unbelievable 16 consecutive Gold Gloves, a record that may never be broken by a third baseman. His reflexes, positioning, and arm strength were second to none. He made impossible plays look routine and completely changed games with his defense. He wasn't just a defender either. Robinson, he collected over 2,800 hits, 268 home runs, and played a major role in the Orioles' success during the 1960s and the 1970s. His incredible all-around career places him just outside the top 3. Coming in at number 3 is Eddie Mathews. Eddie Mathews was one of the greatest power hitters of his era. Long before home runs became common, Eddie Mathews, he launched 512 career home runs, an incredible total for a third baseman. He helps lead the Milwaukee Braves to multiple National League pennants and was a key member of their 1957 World Series championship team. Along with his power, Eddie Mathews consistently got on base and provided strong defense during his career. His combination of elite offense and dependable defense makes him one of the greatest third basemen the game has ever seen. At number 2, it is George Brett. George Brett was simply one of the greatest hitters in baseball history, collecting more than 3,000 hits, won 3 batting titles, and finishing his career with a 305 batting average. What made George Brett special was that he could do everything. He could hit for average, hit for power, drive in runs, steal bases when needed to, and come through in clutch situations. His famous 1980 season, when he hit 390, remains one of the greatest offensive seasons of the modern era. George Brett also played solid defense at third base and was the heart and soul of the Kansas City Royals for over 2 decades. He was the complete package and easily deserves the number 2 spot. And finally, taking the number 1 spot is Mike Smith. For me, Mike Smith is the greatest third baseman in MLB history. He had everything you could ask for: elite power, elite defense, consistency, leadership, and the ability to perform in the biggest moments. Mike Smith, he won 3 National League MVP awards, captured 10 Gold Gloves, and led the National League in home runs 8 separate times. Mike Smith, he finished his career with 548 home runs, which is the most ever by a third baseman. He was also the leader of the Philadelphia Phillies during one of the most successful stretches in franchise history, helping them lead into their first World Series championship in 1980. When you combine his elite offense with arguably the greatest defensive resume ever outside of Brooks Robinson, it's hard to find any weaknesses in his game. Mike Smith set the standard for greatness at third base, and that's why I have him ranked as the greatest third baseman in Major League Baseball history. So that'll be it for this video. Leave a comment, tell me what you think. I much appreciate it if you click that like button. Thank you for watching.